he said this word for word. I want to know everything. I want to know who you're going with, where you're going to be, what's the name of the place. I want your information when you get there. I want you to text me. I said, okay, so why is that okay? And it's not okay for me.
Welcome to the Elite Few podcast, where we explore the fabulous, extraordinary world of the people who move the needle of success. Join our host Tiffany and producer Kyle as we dive into the stories and insights of the elite few who are making a difference and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Let's get started.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Elite Few podcast. My name's Kyle Goodnight with my host Tiffany Feeney.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again.
And today, before we get started with our show, it's just going to be a Kyle and Tiffany episode this time. I want to make sure that we shout out to the Ohio State University Buckeyes. I know you got your Buckeye gear on, too.
My shirt on, too. See my OSU shirt.
OH.
Yes, IO.
That's right.
Did win today.
Beat Rutgers today.
Yes,
number one in the nation. All we got to do is beat Meat Chicken up north, and we'll be on. So, but yeah.
Well, with all the cheating going on, I think we'll be all right.
Man, that's some deep stuff,
isn't
that's
it?
Though, and I always, just real quick, just my 2 cents about this, because I feel horrible for them. I mean, I'm not a Buckeye fan who's like, yeah, stick it to them, because college football is better when Ohio State and Michigan are good.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, win or lose.
Yeah.
The 90s with Cooper, we lost so many times, but college football was better. When we went 1-2 against, when we were 1 or 2, and we went to the Fiesta Bowl, that was one of the best games I've ever been to in my life. They really
still should have
way up here emotionally for me, right? And and it was like Ohio State or college football is better when Michigan and Ohio State are good. Now, cheat to get good, that's a problem if that's what happened. But you never know what your university's going through. You never know what's going on behind closed doors, just like in any home.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel horrible for those students. I feel horrible for the coaches that felt that they had to be put in that position if that's what they did. And I wish that they wouldn't have done it. I wish that we wouldn't have done what we did back when we got suspended for the tattoos and all that. Unfortunately. I don't ever
Penn
point
State,
my finger at a school that's
have had their problems. Yeah. And it's not the kids' fault. That's the thing. It's not the students,
right.
It's not the players.
Most of it. Yeah.
Most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of it's not, but it's just one of those things where I don't like to point fingers because you just never know. You never know when the microscope's going to be turned on you,
Well, first of all, you don't. We all make mistakes. Good Lord. I've made a million. Still make them. But yeah, I think the college experience, really should be about the students. And it's really sad when they switched it around.
Right.
But this is great for us to discuss because we're
It's
definitely talking about
Yes,
empty nesters.
Yeah.
You have what? Two
in college.
You have 2 in college, right?
Yep.
And my son is gone. He's grown up and he's living on his own. And
yeah, so you've had a few years at the empty nest syndrome. To deal with it.
He went to college in New York, came back. So I got adjusted to him being gone.
Okay.
And then he decided to move back home and finish school. And I had to adjust again. And we had to reestablish some rules as adults living with each other.
Right.
And so I said he was going to go do something. I said, well, I still need to know where you're going. Well, why?
Why?
I don't know, because you live in this house and we're roommates now.
Yeah, because I'm your that's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm a
That's
human that lives in the home.
Yeah.
I need to know when you don't come home for 3 days who you were last with.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I just want to know where you're at.
Yeah. And so I said, here's the rules. How about this? This was where it changed immediately. I go, I'm going out with Samantha tonight. What would you like to know? Because it's the same.
There you go.
Oh, no. It wasn't. Well, that's not fair. Why is that not fair? Because he said this word for word. I want to know everything. I want to know who you're going with, where you're going to be, what's the name of the place. I want your information when you get there. I want you to text me. I said, okay, so why is that okay? And it's not okay for me. He goes, but I'm going with AJ, who now lives in New York. He goes, "It's gonna be fine. What can happen?" I said, "But that's the thing. We don't know, because if you don't come home for
Right.
3 days, I need to know where you were
Right.
last at, what was going on." And he said, "Okay, that's fair." And,
Yeah.
we had Google, on our phones, Google Maps.
Yeah.
We did a share thing,
Or the
that
shared
made
Life
him
360, whatever it is. Yeah.
mhm, yeah, well, it made him feel so much better to do that, and, it's really cool now because we had the Apple, phones with the
Oh,
Find
yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
and
I
so
know. And I
we
know you and I share each other's because that's
yes,
one thing
yeah,
early on. That's early on in the everything that you were dealing with. You're like, Kyle, I need somebody to know where I'm at. Like I
yeah.
need my friends. And so you and I went ahead and shared that. And today it was so funny today on the because by the way, Tiffany's right there behind that wall. Right there. She's behind that wall in my
Oh,
studio
the view
B.
from your
Uh
office is amazing. I just
I
wanna point
know, isn't
out,
that
does
amazing?
everybody
Columbus,
see
Ohio,
this?
with the mountains in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where's the mountains? There we go. Look at
That's
that. See that?
yeah, there it is.
It's amazing,
Yeah,
Kyle.
that's
Right there in
I've got
Westerville.
wall to
We're in
wall
Westerville.
green screen. Yep, I've got wall to wall green screen. I set it up in there. It's got sound panels in there. I've got basically a voiceover studio in there for when I'm doing my courses and when I'm for future in person,
Yeah.
podcast guests are going to be in that room with we may not have the mountains in the back. I got all kinds of backgrounds that I'm working on that I love, but yeah, so I don't know where was I? Uh, you were there. Oh, I was so I'm like, "Where are you at?" You told me you'd be
I
here by
get
7,
lost.
and I
Yeah.
I get on the Apple and I find you and you're like in Uptown Westerville,
Westerville.
back to
Back to
like, "Oh, she's
Polaris.
gonna turn on County Line. She's gonna turn on County Line." No, back to Polaris. Then she's at Sheetz, and I'm like, "Oh, you're just gonna turn down Vesper and come to Vesper and get to my
No,
neighborhood." No, you went
no.
back to Cleveland Avenue. I'm like, "Oh, maybe
Yeah.
she's getting coffee." I'm not stalking you. I was just like, "Is
Oh,
she
no.
lost? Are you talking on the phone and you just wanna drive around?" I mean, because I know you do that
No.
too.
I wasn't even on the phone. That's the best part. I was just lost. So what happened is I wasn't following the GPS completely because I knew once we got to Polaris, I could find it. Maxtown Road, I
And
already
by the
knew.
way, she is from Westerville, everybody, but
Okay,
this
it did
area of
not look like
Westerville
this
used to
when I
be
lived.
all farmland.
Yes, yes. The
Sorry.
Yarnell's
Yeah.
farm, Rayanne's house was. I can't even get to her house now because all the landmarks are gone.
Oh,
I don't even know where that was. Yeah.
yeah, Africa.
Well, now
Yeah,
she
you
lives
were
near
close,
me.
but
So yeah, in
yeah,
Florida.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, she lives in Florida, right. Hi, Rayanne.
Hi, Rayanne. Yeah.
Miss you.
So
Can't wait to see you sometime.
So I really did just get lost, and, it is very funny, and, I have Amanda on
Yeah.
it too, so she'll say that sometimes. She's like, "Okay, I watched you come into the house. Where where's the part you get lost?" And, I mean, it's like 3 turns off the freeway, and every time I will miss a turn,
Yeah.
and it's so funny, or I think I pass her house and I just haven't gotten to
Wow.
it yet. No, it's hysterical, and, but no, Javen and I could see stuff, and sometimes he'll call me and be like, where is this? Where are you at?" I'm like, "Okay, you don't even live here." And he's
Right,
just like,
right.
I wanna know what you're doing," or, like, I can see him at
Well,
3 in
like
the
that one
morning
time
taking.
when you were going down to Tampa and you were like, "I had car
Mhm.
problems." I was like,
Yeah,
"Well, I'm gonna make sure I know where she's at," So, like, I would
yeah,
dive in and like, "Okay, all right, there she is. Okay, she's moving or whatever," and
yeah,
like I'd text you and I mean, and it's not it's that whole thing where when it comes to our kids and having that, our kids when it came about to have it, it was they were in high school and in junior high, and they were
yeah,
involved in cheerleading, sports, 2 different locations. Cheerleading was 2 different locations for my daughter. My son was involved with hockey and band and before they started driving, like we put this on their phones because if they're going to have phones at that age,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I need to just, I need to be able to know where you're at.
yeah,
If for some reason you go in communication, I need to know where the last known place you were. I don't care
we
at
do,
times
yeah,
where you're at for the most part, but it's one of those things where now that they're older and they're empty nesters, yeah, we still have Life 360 and we tell them we're like, we don't force you to have it. We want you to have it. I want you to say yes. I want you and dad to have it, or you and mom to have it on your
yeah.
phone. Like when
I'm
it
not
comes to Carter and
tracking you,
Cam,
I just know you're safe, and if I can't find you, I can figure out
right?
where you were last. Um,
Yeah,
y just recently, I mean, that whole situation is 100% reality with Javen. He was in high school and he says, My rule was, I don't care if you're skipping class. I just wanna be able to just tell me where you are. I don't want the news to come on
Yeah,
and find out you are involved in that, and I think you're in class, or I think you're somewhere safe. Like, just tell me. I'm
yeah.
skipping class today. So, going to Universal, I'm going to eat with my friends. So, apparently a news crew and some police showed up at the restaurant next to him. He went to this sub shop. I was over in Dr. Phillips. And he calls me, "Okay, so I skipped class today. Maybe I should have texted you, but" this is what he tells, "There is actually a news people and police and ambulance over here, and I just don't want you to see me accidentally on camera." And but yeah,
Right.
just recently Camden went to college. You saw her 7 in the
Yep.
morning on High Street. Still there from last night. You're like,
Yeah.
"Holy
Oh,
shit."
that
Yeah,
was her first weekend on campus,
yeah, yeah,
and we just, we woke up in the morning. We're like, oh, just want to make sure Camden's back to her dorm,
yeah,
High Street,
yeah.
and
And you
like
freak
on the
out. You're
bar
like,
side of
"You
High
better
Street,
call me."
and I was
Yeah.
like, we let it. We were like, you know, stuff glitches,
Yeah.
stuff doesn't update sometimes.
Give it a
We'll just let
minute.
it
Yeah.
be. But here we are, we're 3 or 4 hours after we first saw that, and it still hasn't updated. I've restarted my
Yes.
phone. I've Jen's restarted her phone, and we're like, okay, either her phone isn't updating or her phone is got left and lost.
Yeah.
We're like thinking all this
Yeah.
stuff. And so finally I was just like, that was the first time that, as me as a brand new empty nester was truly an empty nester, like my daughter, my baby girl was out, not under my roof, right? My
Yes.
son, he's a little bit older. He's already had some freedom in his life. He's lived in his own apartments. He's lived on campus. He's really responsible when it comes to stuff. Some of the things he chooses to go and do, I'm not a big fan of, but whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, listen, I'll you got to be you. You got to learn the hard way if there's
Right.
things that we don't like you to do, but you're still doing it. And Jen's getting there. She was
Yeah.
really rough with it in the beginning, but when this came to Camden, it was like, okay, I'm like, where in the fuck are you?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, I pulled up the nuclear button that says
Yeah.
I'm gonna make her phone scream in her dorm room if that's where she is at.
Yeah.
And so I hit it, and I'm like, because at this point we're 4 hours in, nothing is updated.
Yeah.
We think she should be up by now, but college student, we're like, we're giving her, it was
Yeah,
like
whatever, right.
9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and I finally hit the nuclear button on that, and she all of a sudden calls us right away, and I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? Like, because she's in a dorm with 3 other people,
We're
and I'm like, I'm sorry,
terrified
babe, but
because we think you're dead
yeah,
on High Street. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, your phone still shows you on High Street. I'm like, I'm totally fine that you went out to the bar last night. I'm totally fine with that. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, that's not what I'm mad at. I'm not mad about anything. I'm worried, I'm like,
Yeah.
so it's a little, there is some changes. There is
Yeah.
some growing pains with empty nesting, and we're all subject to it. Sometimes, I remember when my mom and dad, when I got my license, that's the first sprinkle of empty nest, right? Is the
We
license,
didn't have
right?
phones.
And
We didn't have
right.
phones. We didn't
And
have
my mom and dad were
nothing.
so happy that I got my license because they were tired of toting my ass around to
Well, and
football and track.
you were the youngest of all your kids, of 4 kids.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
the oldest of 5
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
Me getting my license meant they could
Take the
I could
siblings
take the
everywhere.
kids every
Right.
yeah. It meant, I could run the errands, I could run to the store, I could do I mean, there was so
Yeah. You were the
much.
you were
Yeah.
the you were the nanny all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, well, my sister and I had already been the nanny, but yeah, it was so
Yeah.
funny, and, it really was great. I'd take my sister to school, we would do so much stuff, and dad was so happy. You were
Right.
just
Yeah, of
one less
course. Of
thing for your
course.
parent. We're done. Kyle's got his license. We're done. We're not. You're the baby. We're done.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But like you said, we didn't have phones back then.
Mhm.
I'd already had my I didn't have my license, almost got pulled over scare. I took a joyride around the neighborhood with my buddies,
Oh,
and a cop showed up
wow.
behind us, and my buddy had his license, but I didn't. And I didn't even have my temps yet.
Oh my
And he's like,
god.
Kyle, just obey the law. So he talked me through getting back to my house. I was in my own neighborhood. I mean, we didn't even go over 25 miles an hour, right? But
Yeah.
I was in my mom and dad's car. We were in a joyride. We were hanging out, watching movies. We're like, hey, no one's home. So my buddy talked me back, talked me through the different like traffic laws that I didn't even know yet. I mean, I had an understanding, but I didn't know. And he's like, just and he talked me all the way through it. David Littlemeyer, remember him? I don't know
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
remember David
yeah.
Littlemeyer. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was he was he was a little bit, he was a year, he was like you, he's a year older than us. He's a year older than me. Like you're a year older
Oh,
than me.
okay.
So,
Yeah,
but in
when's
our
your
same
birthday
class, and he
again?
talked me all the way back to the thing, and I vowed to never drive illegally again. I never did. I never went on another joyride. I was like, oh my God, that was so scary.
Oh, I think, I do there was a lot of immunity that we had. We had a lot of, what do you call it? Like, no, like, privacy was, is the word I'm looking for. Like, we had bigger than that. There was,
Well,
nobody
they
knew
didn't.
where we.
We didn't have the.
There was no
Yeah, we didn't have the
cameras.
cell phones that is connected to the world.
No, we
The
had nothing.
world.
You were gone. You were gone. We were
Like
out.
there
We were
we
out. Yeah,
Yeah, like our privacy levels were a lot bigger. Like we had better
yeah,
privacy than our kids do because
yes.
we didn't have access to the world. We had access
Mm-mm.
to our neighborhood. There was people at school, that your work, if you were a
Yeah,
working teenager, like what else would oh, we're going to drop you off at the movie. That was our world. Like that was the extent of who we would be able to interact with. But
yeah.
now with the cell phones, ever since my kids
No,
were old enough to have a cell phone and be able to have a way to
we
call
know
us and
where
say,
they
"Hey, I'm
are,
done
what
with
they're
practice. Can you
doing.
come
Yeah,
get me?" Yeah. Yeah, and
yeah,
like I said, the first time we got our kids cell phones, I wish I was a little bit more stern with the apps. Like I
yeah.
wasn't
Camden's
very.
like 10 years across because she's how old?
She's 18,
Okay, so
almost
they're 8
19.
they're 8 years they're 8 Javen and her are 8 years apart. So, I was just finishing up. You had different rules. We talked about this. When your kids got their
Mhm.
phones, I remember you had your people have knew what we went through. So you had different rules. And phones couldn't be upstairs in the rooms. They had to be wherever. We had to adjust to all of that with the phone. He had permanent
Yep.
access to a phone. And so we had to now monitor different. And we had to come up with rules that we we didn't have because they weren't
Yeah,
rules.
we
There
didn't
weren't.
know them because they weren't, that was,
Yes.
we had to invent them, per se. So there was things that were like,
Yeah.
now looking back now, I would 100% say no, you're not going to have, like, just like Matthew McConaughey. Did you know his son is like 15 or 16 and he's
Yeah.
just now getting Facebook and like he had phones to be able to reach his
Yeah.
parents, but they weren't allowed to have the apps on their phone. And they would do, we had phone audits. We were like, hey, phone audit,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
nope, you had to set it down and walk away.
Yeah.
Like you put your passcode in and you walk away.
Well, that's what
And
Andrea
if you
had by the time
yep,
her kids got tablets, there
yep,
were audits. We were working
yep,
that out with my age
yep.
kids. We were
Yeah, and we
figuring.
talked about that in one of our other podcasts about, with I think it was the human trafficking, because that's where it really, now
Gina
today's
doesn't let
world.
her kids. I was just going to say, she doesn't let her kids
Yeah,
have a phone. Oh,
yeah,
what? Hudson just got one. We were just talking about that. Remember, she
yeah,
brought that up.
yeah.
And the
He was
reality is,
16 or
you've got to
whatever,
be
right?
careful. Yeah. But how
Yep.
are you and Jen like adjusting?
Oh, adjusting. I think we're adjusting fine. With us, it's really not that big of a difference because we also have 5 dogs. Yes, one,
You
two, three, four,
do, and that
five
new
dogs.
adorable puppy. Yes.
No, that adorable puppy. I'll put a picture of her up right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, how
There
cute
we
is
go.
she?
Oh my god, she still
She
acts
is
like a
adorable. She is
baby.
the
She
daughter.
she puts her
Yeah, she
paws
is the
around my
daughter of
neck.
one of our
Yeah.
other puppies. Yeah,
Yeah.
who's 3, and so when we had the chance to get her, this is the first time in Jennifer and I's life that we've ever had a sibling of one of our own dogs. We've
Oh.
never had a dog that's ever been in heat. This is our first dog, Remy, that's ever been in heat, and she had a puppy, her first litter, and this was almost her. I mean, it looks, when you see puppies, when you see puppy pictures of Remy and you
Yeah.
see puppy pictures of Millie now, you're like, whoa, there is cloning. How did you clone her? Because they look almost identical. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But so we're empty nesters when it comes to like the worriness and the kids being in the house all the time.
Yeah.
Carter is sprinkling back and forth into the house because of his college schedule. He's he's a multimedia producer and a videographer. So he has jobs in and around the city or the state. There's times where he goes jobs up back at where his school is in Bowling Green. But it's one of those things where this is his home base. This will always be his home base, and
Yeah.
he can come and go as he pleases.
Yeah.
So it's, when we see him, we're like, oh, hey man, what's up? And we don't give him the ninth degree. We just want to
Yeah.
like, hey, wait, what's going on tonight? Just to, we're humans. Cause he had a
Yeah.
little bit of adjustment when he moved back for a little bit in the summertime. He's like, I don't need to tell you what I'm doing. I'm like, uh, I know you don't
You
need to tell me. I'm like, I agree. I know you don't need to tell me. I am
yeah.
not forcing you to tell me, but I would like the respect that you want to give me just a general concept of what you're doing. Just so we
Yeah.
know. I'm like, Carter, this is being humans. This is being, I'm
Being
like, I
roommates.
don't
Yeah.
just walk out of the house and don't tell your mother anything.
Oh, she would die. Where are you going? Do
What?
we know when you're coming
Yeah.
back? 3 days, 2
Why do I need to
hours.
tell
Yeah.
you? Why,
Exactly.
Jen, why do I need to tell you? Dude, I'm a grown ass man. Why do I need to tell you where I'm going? You know, like, no, because she's like, well, where are you going? I'm like, well, I'm going to Kroger. Well, I need this, this, and this. Exactly. So that's why I'm gonna tell you where I'm going. So, so that was a little bit different. Camden is way different. The and Camden, her
Yeah.
level of maturity has been up here for years, right? And so there's a little less worry with her. Um, I still worry about her, but I also feel that she's got a good head on her shoulder.
Yeah.
She is that more mentally prepared person at this age than, I
Yeah.
mean, females just are. We know
Yeah.
that females are way more prepared than males at the same age, and it's just in their DNA. But yeah, we're adjusting fine. We want to go do more stuff. And like that one time last month, Tiffany, we
Yeah.
showed up to the magic show. If you guys
Yes.
haven't watched the magic episode,
And you
please tune
guys could
in
just
to
take off and
Steve
go.
Nelson Magic. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did it. I told her, I said, so when that all got planned, I'm like, Jen, I'm like, this is the first time we can actually act as an empty nester. All we have to
Yeah.
do is figure out who's going to watch the dogs, right?
Yeah.
So we've got some go-to people for the dogs, but we're empty nesters, but we really like to be at home and be a part of our dog family and to be
Yeah.
here for one another. I work
Yeah.
24-hour
Well, you
shifts.
work
So when I'm
long. Yeah.
gone, she's by herself. I don't like the fact that sometimes she's at home by herself, but for the most part with the vicious dogs that we have, she's never home by herself. But
Well, I noticed the house was under attack earlier tonight, and the dogs it was
yes,
it
yeah.
it was this
What was out there? I think the wind blew something, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know, but it was hysterical because it was the house was now under attack, and they must now go attack anything there was only one dog that didn't move, and I don't know which one it was, but I thought it was funny
It's
that they
probably
all left and the one just sat there, didn't even get up. I
Yeah,
was
probably the
like,
big one. She's like, nah, fuck it. It's not real. I'm not
"That's
doing
right."
it.
It was so funny. But I think, my girlfriend, uh, lives over in the Gulf area near Tampa, St. Pete's, all that, and
Okay. Yeah.
their kids are both in college. She's loving it. Her husband's like, "I can't do this. I can't stand not having the kids here all week."
Oh, really? So he's all worried
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, and she's like, "Get a
Wow.
hobby. I need you to get a she's, "I won't be doing this. I won't."
Well,
Oh, and the
maybe
kids
that's
come
why
home on the
I'm
weekend. That's what she said. I said, "But
oh,
now you guys have the weekends, you can have sex all over the house." She goes, "Oh, no. No, no, no. The kids actually ruined that for us by coming back on the weekends." We're
on the
like, "Go
weekends,
get"
right.
I'm like, "Get some friends." She's like,
Yeah.
"Go be at college."
There was a time this is nobody knows this yet, but
Yeah.
I was at home and Jen was home and I had taken a shower, but like we didn't have any there was something that wasn't. I had to walk around the house completely butt ass naked, and I was like, yeah, I'm like this, yeah. I'm like I'm not worried about a kid walking in. I had to go down and get something out of the laundry or something and just butt ass naked. I'm like, yeah, this feels good. I'm
No.
like I get used to this,
Oh, it's always
but
funny to me whenever you or Jason call and you're FaceTiming me and I'm like, "Hold on. I don't have clothes on. I gotta put something on." I have to run around.
oh,
Because
you, yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah, all the time. You and Jason, who's in California, and he'll be like, "Okay,"
Hey,
and
let's
oh,
FaceTime. You're like, hold on a minute, and
hold
I'm
on.
I'm facing like product on your bathroom counter.
Oh, right. I'm always, and I don't even know how many times we're having a meeting or talking, and I'm putting my night lotion stuff on or my
Right.
morning stuff. It's so funny. I think my sister's not getting to go through the empty nest. They're in college at
Well, she
OSU,
has
but they live there.
generational kids.
She's
Right.
got, oh my gosh. I mean, well, you've got what? 7? Zane just turned 7 today. If you guys saw our
Happy
Instagram
birthday, Zane.
a while
Yeah.
back, a few weeks ago, then you would have seen me post his little pictures from his party. And then Isabel's 9. Let me see. We got Max, we got Quinn, who's 22, 23, and then she's got extras that she took care of. So not
Mhm.
officially fostering, but extras. And so right now she has a total of 5 kids living there. In the basement, there's 3 adult men that all live there. And her and Bill, there's monitoring rules, there's all sorts of stuff. No girls in the basement. This isn't that type of house. And at one point, they had 6 kids down there. And so yeah, and then when they moved to this home, there was only 4. And now one went off on his own. Then they have just 3 boys down there. And it's really funny. And they just finally built a bathroom in the basement. So they only had the 2 bathrooms for 8 people in the house. And it was,
Wow.
yeah, just
Everybody take a
imagine.
number. Take a number. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I
the only thing.
can't
Like,
imagine.
so I've got this. So this is weird. I want to know. I'm going to ask you a weird question. This is fucking off the wall
Okay.
question. So when you were growing up,
Yeah.
did you take showers in your parents' bathroom
So
all the time?
sometimes we would. We only had 2 showers and there was 5 kids and 2 parents. So
Okay.
we had 7 people.
Okay.
Usually we always had the tag team. So when the boys were little, we had to take a kid. Like it was grab a
Okay.
kid, get in the shower. Then when they got older, we couldn't do that anymore, obviously. I think once they
Right.
hit like 2, 3, you couldn't do that anymore. But Andrea and I
Okay.
in the
So it's
morning would tag team. We'd have to get in the shower together or go to mom and dad's bathroom, which is just a stand-up one, and then
yeah.
use it. Yeah. But there was
So the reason.
a rule, no mess. There was no long
Okay.
showers. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
7
Well,
people.
that's not my question. I
Yeah.
just so my growing up, because I was essentially a only child at 10. My
Right. You're
brothers
like
and
my
sisters were
brother
older than me.
Tim. Yeah, he's
So by the
14 years
time I
older.
took showers all the time and a teenager, I was by myself. So I had my own bathroom. I never took a shower in my mom and dad's bathroom. Like
Yeah.
never. Like that
Yeah.
was their bathroom and I had my bathroom. Then, fast forward to, 20 whatever, 22 years old, and I meet Jennifer. Well, Jennifer's mom and they always took showers in their mom and dad's bathroom
Well,
because they
Isabel and
only had a
Zane do
bathtub.
because I don't know how many
Right.
times because she'll
Well, it
say,
wasn't
"You
numbers,
in
it was
my
just what
room,
they
you in
did.
here."
And I
Yeah.
I thought that was the weirdest thing in my life. I'm like, "You have your own bathroom." And they're like, "Well," and when then I start thinking about it and I see it for many years. And then I'm like, "Well, Jen's got to go take a shower. Mike's got to get ready, or vice versa. Mike's got to
Yeah.
take a shower, and Jen's got to get ready in the bathroom with her makeup, and she would sit in the sink." That's how my wife would do her makeup and hair sitting in the sink of their main bathroom, right? And I'm like, that's freaking weird. Just stand up. No, she sits
No.
in the sink. She doesn't do that anymore, but so what's weird is, we've had shows about generational trauma. What about
Yeah.
generational quirkiness, right? Like, so
That's
my
so
kids,
good. Yeah. Yeah, I
my
love that.
kids take a shower. Like my son, when he comes home for the weekends, he doesn't take a shower in the shared bathroom of Camden and him. Nope. Middle of the night, comes home. He wants to take a shower after hockey or after he's been out for the night. And he wants to just take a shower before he goes to bed. Nope. Comes into our bedroom, goes into our shower. I'm like, bro, there's a shower nobody's in out in the hallway.
Out in the
Why are you
hallway.
coming to my bedroom? He's like, well, because this is my shower. I'm like, no, it's my
No.
shower.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, I bought the house. You see who pays that mortgage? And, by the way, you don't even make enough
Well,
to
it's just
rent at
easier
this
because my
level.
shampoo and my shampoo's in there, so I'm just gonna take a shower in your bathroom. Like, all right,
Yeah.
just be
Yeah.
quiet.
Oh my god. So
Sorry,
I
that's a
no,
weird.
no, no.
I've never asked that question of anybody. I've never shared that story with anybody. It's exclusive on the Elite Few today.
Exclusive right now. No, I do love it. We have company constantly. It's
Mhm.
we all the time.
Mm.
So,
Oh yeah,
um
we know all about your company.
so we literally like if all the girls would go in my room and because you know how big my shower is. It's like, what, 5 by 10, there's 2 shower heads.
Oh,
We've
yeah,
got
yeah.
2 si it's
You don't even
huge.
open a door, you walk in 2 different areas, yeah,
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 and so we would just there'd be 6 women. Everyone goes all the girls go in my room, then we have the other 2 bathrooms and the men just take turns, and, it's really funny to me that in, like, all sports, men have to share a shower and women have individual ones, when in real life, women don't
it's the
care,
other way
we
around.
share all the time. Oh, yeah, yeah, and so, I mean,
Mm.
it's really, really funny because, I mean, I don't know how many times I've had 100, like, women we've had tons of women in there, getting dressed, showering, doing their makeup, all taking turns, right? Just around, because there's a sink over here and a vanity, a sink over, right? So you can
Right,
have
yeah,
3, 4 people doing their makeup, couple people in the shower, 4
right.
people. Like, it's insane. And we
Mhm,
would
mm.
we would do that all the time. We'll have to bring this up when we're talking more about my story, about why everything didn't go down in there instead of somewhere else. That's where the
Right.
picture should
So
be. Well,
yeah, no doubt.
'cause there's no walls. Remember, it's
Exactly.
just a big
There's
glass
no
window,
walls, right, right.
but you can see everything.
Well,
Yeah.
every so right now, if you're listening to this and you're like, "Wow, these guys are weird," or if you chuckle to any of this, or if any of
Yeah.
this resonates with you and how you grew up and how your household is run,
Yeah.
go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section on the
We
YouTube,
wanna hear we wanna
and
hear
just
your crazy
we
antic
want to hear
stories.
the crazy stories. Like I said, this I don't know why it hit my brain, but I'm like, I've always felt that it's weird that that people use their parents' bathroom, and now my kids are using my bathroom. Even when they were growing up, they were like, as soon as they got out of the tub, as soon as they stopped doing tubs and they took their own showers, they would
Yeah.
shower because Jen was like, yeah, come and shower in our bathroom. And I'm like, I didn't care. It didn't bug me, but it was just like, yeah, okay, they're little. We can keep an eye on them, I guess. If they need help, we're there. I'm like, and then next thing you know, now they're grown ass adults. And I'm like, why are you using my fucking shower, man? Just fucking use your own. Oh, this is my shower. Like, no, 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 it's my shower.
Well, my
I'm
poor
like, well, you're
brother-in-law.
gonna have to deal with me taking a shit. You're gonna have to deal with me taking a shit while you're taking a shower because I'm taking a shit.
uh,
Bro, don't do that.
yeah,
My
don't come
son
in my
said that the
shower.
other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the first time
listen,
I actually take a shit while he's taking a shower, he probably will never use it again.
he'll never do it again. That would be awesome. No, my poor brother-in-law, that there's no a lot of there's not a lot of privacy in that house. You can hear everything through the walls, but on top of it, with the 2 bathroom issues, there's always people in their bathroom. There's always people in their bedroom. And so it's
Yeah.
just, yeah, oh yeah, it's just crazy. Like, they can't wait to build their master bedroom,
Yep.
like, out, and she's got some more privacy there.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Like I said, go ahead and put a comment in the comment section if you had weird stuff, or if you think we're just stupid. Just go ahead. I don't care what you put. Comments are good. Hit that like button. Smash that like button if you're listening to this point on our podcast. We love our guests. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube and go to the different all the different major podcast platforms. We're on all of them. The Elite Few is the name of our podcast. Go and like and share. Plenty of content to listen to. This is a little bit more lighthearted one. Actually, this is very lighthearted.
Yeah.
We just had a pretty serious conversation earlier about some childhood trauma, and we've had conversations about human trafficking and a woman who forgave her daughter's
Yes.
murderer. That was our number one. I mean, we
Yeah.
knocked it out of the park. Our first episode ever was this woman who forgave her daughter's murderer. And
Yeah, and
now they
it
go and talk
was,
about
yeah,
forgiveness together. The murderer,
such a huge
Roy,
show.
Ray,
People
Roy,
comment Ray. Yeah, we're gonna have
what
him
was his
on.
Ray? Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're
gonna
having
have
him
Ray
on the
on.
show.
We're gonna have Tiffany's met him.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
the Elite Few podcast is
Well, and
all about
because of her, his
yeah,
he did end up going to prison. Watch the show, watch the
yeah,
episode,
he did
but
go to
his
prison.
life changed. His life changed
Yep,
in just a different, completely different person.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, just remember the elite few. The few stands for fabulous, extraordinary world, and the people that are in it that help us move the needle of success. So our guests are typically people that have gone through some trauma, some turmoil, some troubles, but now they're on the backside of it and they're willing to help people. And we bring those people on and to let them share their stories. Sometimes they're in the middle of their struggle. We had a guest on who is in the middle of, a
Yeah.
daughter's disease, a rare disease, and she's in the middle of it. But even in the middle of it, she is elevating herself and
Yes.
bringing herself and her family up to another level. And tune into
Yeah.
that show. That show. Get your tissues. That show's amazing. I mean, every time I watch part of that show and I think, and now that I've met them, because we went down to Florida for one of our other shows, the magic show, which was fun, so we're trying to keep it light here. We're trying to keep this one's really light. It's Tiffany and I just being ourselves, talking about weird stuff like, kids taking showers in the parents' showers, whatever. all wrapped around the word of the concept of this show of the empty nest syndrome, which I am thrusted into. Tiffany's an old hat at it. She's actually excited to not have the empty nest coming up soon with the holidays. Her son's coming back to be with her for the holidays. He lives
Yeah, he doesn't live in
overseas.
Orlando. He doesn't live in Orlando,
Yeah,
so he has to visit for stuff, and I have an unwritten rule that
yeah.
it's not an option to miss Christmas.
Yeah, and we're going to be down there. We're going to be in Orlando and during Christmas, the week before, couple
Yeah.
weeks before Christmas. My family's
Yeah.
going to be down there. We're coming and
Yeah.
partaking in some festivities with you and your friends, and we can't wait to be a part of
Yes.
that. Yeah,
And
so that's going
we're
to be
gonna have
fun.
Santa on here pretty soon for our Christmas special. He's
Yeah.
going to come on and talk with us. So I'm excited. It's gonna be good. We got a lot coming up.
Yeah, we've got a lot of great shows coming up. Don't, like I said, we're trying to get it. We're doing once a week. We're trying to get it to being more than that. I think by second quarter next year, we're going to be doing at least 2 a week with some
Maybe, yeah.
sprinkles of live.
Yeah.
We had our first live. Like any business, this is podcast is a business. It's Tiffany and I's business where we do this sharedly and jointly. She's 1% more than me because she's the host and the star, not me. But nonetheless, we're looking at trying to do some weekly lives is what I think we
Mhm.
want to get to. So where we have a scheduled time where we go on once or twice a week and we talk about whatever's the hot topic for that week in
That's
general, or
exactly it. Yeah.
what questions people have. I'd love to have an episode sometime where we have a list of questions from all of our episodes that we compile
Yes.
and say, okay, in episode blank, we had this guest on and one of our listeners had this question for him, and we'll try to get the answers or address it. So it's one of those things where we love the comments. Leave the comments in the section. Yes, Tiffany and I talk over each other. We interrupt each other. So the next time a commenter wants to put down, stop interrupting each other, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
we're two type A's who have
Yeah.
a lot to say.
Well, and
Not gonna
I
happen,
think our
bro.
dynamic is well, we've been friends since we were 15.
Yeah,
And we
I
just
mean,
kind of it's like
she's more
siblings.
my sister than my sister. I mean,
We just
seriously.
kind of meld into
Yeah,
uh, it's like being at a family reunion all the time. I mean, you're
yeah.
just at the house.
That's so
Like
good.
I
That's so good.
I'm yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. But it's really
Oh, it.
fun. I think
Yeah,
that I'm not really sure why anyone they can say whatever they want. I don't care. They're not
yeah. No, I
not
don't care either.
changing my life for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no,
I
no, I
think
don't
people
care.
don't understand the
Trolls.
dynamic sometimes. But I like what as Sheila said when she was like, "My gosh, you guys are like argue like siblings." And she was so amazed because you were like all upset about something, and I'm just calm sitting there. She goes, "You're not even
Yeah.
ruffled." I'm like, "Oh no, he'll be fine." And just
No,
he'll
no,
be all right.
he just needs to
He's
get it
fine.
out.
He'll be all right. Yeah. I'm not
He
even
he needs to get something out, and
he's
and it's
fine.
not like I'm not hearing him. Like, he has good points,
Yeah.
and oh yeah, that's a good point. And
Mhm.
okay, I understand what you're saying now, Kyle. And then we're back to, oh, so what did blah 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 blah, and like, yeah, love you, bye. No.
Especially back then, because all this stuff started not working and it was really hard. The first few episodes, we just were really having troubles with technical difficulties, and
Yeah.
it was a lot for you. So, but we're here
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Everything's
because
working out.
when it comes to the
Yeah.
technical stuff, I'm, this is my voiceover booth, and you're in
Yes.
my voiceover booth too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this should be working. I know what I'm doing, and it just wasn't, and it's like, but there's other little anomalies, like, like Linda brought her computer, and for whatever reason, her camera
The
wouldn't
camera
work.
didn't work.
She's like,
Yep.
I was on Zoom earlier this morning, Kyle. I don't know what I couldn't even find her camera on the computer. It was like
Yeah.
she erased it from the memory of the computer. There was
Yeah.
no camera on there. So we had to do some sort of weird GoPro setup. And I
Oh,
put a
we did it,
GoPro
but
and
it
said,
was
just talking to the
crazy.
GoPro. I'll line it up later with your voice and in this microphone. I was in a back room of Tiffany's house because we did like 4 or 5 shows when we first
Yeah.
kicked it off, because we launched August 1st,
Yeah.
So.
No, it's great. So definitely we want everyone to keep watching, stay tuned, watch our upcoming shows. Kyle, anything
Yep.
else before I say
Nope.
it?
Just embrace the empty nesters. You can walk around naked.
That's right. Walk around naked. You can have sex on the pool table. Yeah, I live alone, so I don't do that. But but it's happening. But like, share, follow, and stay fabulous. We'll see you next time.